Alright, so we're continuing to learn about functions and formulas, and you can use a formula or a rule to find out more about a function. So, for instance, you can determine the duty on manufactured goods according to the following rule. A duty would be like a fee that you have to pay on goods. So it says up to 100 kilograms, so you're making something, and up to 100 kilograms, it just costs you $10. But for every additional 10 kilograms, you're going to add 50 cents. So it wants to know how much a shipment weighing 150 kilograms would cost. Well, we know the first 100 is going to be $10. That leaves us 50 more. Well, for every 10, we're going to add 50 cents, so that means that we're going to do 0.50, because that's how much they cost, times 5, because there would be 10 kilograms in there, and that's going to give us $2.50. So to find out how much it's going to cost for 150 kilograms, we're going to add 10 and $2.50, which would be $12.50 total. So if the formula distance equals speed times time, you can isolate time on the left-hand side. When we're isolating, that means we're getting it by itself, so we're solving for time. So if I want to get rid of time, then I need to do the opposite of multiplying by speed, and I need to divide by speed. So that tells me that my time equals my distance divided by my speed. So if I wanted to find out how many hours, that would be time, it took to travel 720 kilometers, that's a distance. At driving 80 kilometers per hour, that's a speed. So we would say that is the time of 80 equals our distance of 720 divided by our speed of 80, and 720 divided by 80 is 9. So how many hours, again, time, will it take you if you travel the same distance, which is still going to be our 720, at 100 kilometers per hour, that's going to be our speed. So we're going to do 720 divided by 100, and that would give us 7.2 hours. So according to Galileo's observation, the position of a free-falling object after t seconds, that means an object that's just dropped, can be described by the formula distance equals 4.9 t squared. So it says if the distance in this problem is equal to our height, so they're saying instead of distance, we're going to say h equals 4.9 t squared. And it asks us to solve for time, to isolate time. So when we do that, we're going to get that time equals our height, the square root, of our height divided by 4.9. So in this next problem, it asks us how many seconds, that's our time, will it take for an egg drop from 363-foot tall building, that's our height, to hit the ground. So we're going to do time equals, our height would be 363 divided by 4.9, and we're taking the square root of that. So the square root of 363 divided by 4.9 is 8.61. So that would be, it would take us 8.61 seconds to hit the ground. All right, so we have this formula to convert degrees Celsius to degrees Fahrenheit. So it says to multiply the input by 9 over 5 and then add 32. So that means that to get to degrees Fahrenheit, we're going to do 9 over 5 times Celsius plus 32. And you're going to need that formula on your quiz. The area of a circle depends on the radius. We're supposed to find a of 6. Remember, whenever they give us a number in the parentheses, we're supposed to put that in place of r. So we're going to do pi times 6 squared, and pi times 6 squared is going to give us 113.09 if we round it to 2 decimal places. So that would be our answer. So if we wanted to find our average score, remember average, it says the sum of the scores, which means we add them all up, and then we divide it by how many there are. So we're going to do 133 plus 155 plus 176 plus 132, and then we're going to divide that by 4. Well, if I just add the top, I'm going to get 596, And then I need to divide that by 4, and I'm going to get 149. So her average bowling score is 149. All right, number 1. To find the cost of renting a car, you're multiplying the number of miles driven by 0.15 and then adding $50, the flat rental rate. So we're supposed to write our function. So we're just writing equations here. So it says m, because that's what it tells us to write it as, is equal. It says we're supposed to multiply the number of miles by 0.15. So 0.15 times m, or 0.15 m, then add 50. So plus 50. And that would give us our equation to find our cost of renting a car. Number 3, to find the distance an object fell, you're supposed to square the amount of time it took, so that means it's going to be t squared, and then multiply it by 4.9, so times 4.9, and that's going to be equal to d of t. Number 5, the area of a circle depends on the radius, and we're supposed to compute a of 6. Remember, whatever number they give you in this parentheses is what you plug in here for r, and you plug it in both places. So you'll do pi times 6 squared, and we actually did that earlier, and we got 113.09. So I'm going to go ahead and do number 6 as well. It asks us, below is the rule for calculating the velocity in meters per second of a falling object. Use this rule to calculate the speed of a bowling ball if it is falling and was dropped 5 seconds ago. So that means I want to find v of 5. So I'm going to do 9.8 times 5, and that's going to give me 49. So that means that v of 5 equals 49. Number 7, the rule for calculating the number of hours it takes to drive from Austin to Dallas is written below. The formula uses the speed of the car, S. If a car drives 25 miles per hour, how many hours will it take to get to Dallas? So this is our speed. Okay. In this formula, it's important to note that this number on top is our distance. So we're going to do 185 divided by 25. And that's going to give us 7.4. So it's going to take us 7.4 hours, or we would say that t of 25 equals 7.4. So lastly, number 9, it says the volume of a cube depends on the length of the side. So we're supposed to use the v of s equals s cubed to compute v of 12. So this means 12 is in the parentheses, so we're going to take 12 and plug it in here for each of these s's. So v of 12 equals 12 cubed. And we're going to go to the calculator. That means 12 times 12 times 12. And that's going to give us 1,000. So v of 12 equals 1,728.